Here we go. You ready? I first realized I was HIV positive when
I first found out I was HIV positive,
I was in a public health clinic. I had this mean-ass nurse who came in and was like, "You're positive," and I was like, "I don't understand," and they would basically just kick you out.
I went to an after-school program and I was doing like these internships and we learned about HIV. So I got to learn like what the symptoms were, and I was like, something's going on with my body.
It, I'm gonna die anyway. There I go with the cursing. I keep forgetting I shouldn't curse. Sorry, I'm from the Bronx, so I'm a sailor at heart.
Hi.
Hi.
Come here.
No. Good to see you.
Likewise.
Hi, baby.
James and Greg, our story.
It says Zach and Brody, our story.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Simba and I met when I was born because he is my cousin. So I've been a brat to you my whole life.
Yes.
We met like right when school started in Montreal, first day. And then I guess we saw each other more in a misguided salsa class we took.
This is a true story.
Yes, this is true.
Saw each other for 3 months and then just reacquainted about a month ago after 22 years. You look good.
Thank you, you too. You haven't aged a day.
Thank God.
Telling you I was HIV positive for the first time was difficult.
Well, I mean, it took me a minute.
I called you from behind a dumpster on 28th Street.
It was hard. When you get news like that, you could just imagine. Like,
Yeah.
like how do you tell your family? Who do you tell? Should I tell? When would I tell?
We had already known each other for a couple of months, but, you know, we were dating and we were practicing safe sex anyway. And at that time, it had only been about maybe 7, 8 months for me, and it was still very new to me to even accept it within myself or actually have that dialogue with anyone.
Immediately before I'd even told my family, I was being asked to participate in these studies, actually looking for a cure, looking for a vaccine, and my doctor basically said, you know, you still have virus within you, but we're not going to put you on any medication. We don't see any health complications that are of immediate concern. So I had this weird sensation of starting to disclose to sexual partners, starting to tell friends, and everyone being really freaked out. But then my personal perspective from at least from my doctor was, you know, there's not a lot to be concerned about here.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of straddling both worlds, which gave me a really like interesting perspective.
Before I met you, my understanding of living with HIV was...
Before I knew, my idea of HIV was like, oh, like, don't touch me.
was terror.
I had known about HIV for so long. My dad is gay. I've known HIV positive people since I was, I guess, 11 maybe, or I was conscious of HIV positive people around me since I was 11. But I had also known, because of my dad's friends, I'd known about HIV really a lot from the 80s and 90s.
You know, this is 94. We didn't get the good drugs till 96, so terrified was my sort of... and then now...
That doesn't affect me at all. Like, I've been around you enough to know that I'm not gonna catch anything.
My thoughts on taking PrEP to prevent contracting HIV, I think it's great.
You know what PrEP is?
No, what's PrEP?
PrEP is pre-prophylaxis exposure.
Oh, I don't know.
So
what
that
is.
medicine is for people who are at high risk that can take medicines to prevent them from getting HIV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
In the ideal world, you should still, you know, take that and still use protection.
The guy I'm dating right now is on PrEP.
Yeah.
You have a layer of protection for yourself. It adds such a sense of self-responsibility to the equation.
One way my life has now changed living with HIV.
Being a role model for people that look like me, who are black and brown and Latino and gay, who might be struggling with their status or coming out to their families about their status.
If you let people use your weaknesses against you, they always will. If you wear it as a badge of honor, then it strengthens you, right?
I never really bit my tongue or gave a shit about what anyone thought or said anyway, but about me, because God knows, you know, I have faced discrimination on so many levels.
You know, that's inspirational, and there's like a fearlessness there, and a fearlessness to talk about your status in public.
You know, I go to foundations now a lot, and like family
Yeah.
foundations and charities, and you know, to be able to go into a room full of like straight people and talk about being diagnosed and what I'd done with it. You know, you get this like effect that you wouldn't have otherwise. To be able to do something with that is nice.
The biggest misconception I think people have surrounding HIV is
That it's a death sentence.
even today, people still think it's a gay disease. HIV don't judge nobody.
There is still a little bit of slut shaming around HIV, and people think, oh, you're positive, and then they assume that they know that person's choices and their lifestyle and maybe what they're into.
Right. And still the temptation for so many people to be like, well, how did you get it?
Yeah, which is like such a strange question. I understand why people would ask that question, but it's they're looking for some, oh, I was like licking dirty needles, or you know what I mean?
I am really glad that we had this talk and that we've reconnected after 22 years.
Yeah.
I am
disgusted.
I am blank with this talk.
Turned on a little?
I am glad, I am happy, I am joyful that we had this talk. I'm thankful.
I'm grateful that we had this talk because we never did.
I am glad we had this
nice.
talk. Yeah.
I'm glad we did.
You suck.
Love you, boy. She's here. What y'all looking at? Ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap.